So I guess Sony decided to say, what more can we do to piss off the gamers? Take away the physical copies. And they did just that. And now they're catching hell for it. And we're going to talk about it. Sony. So, I know this has been about a week or so now, and I haven't really got a chance to really hop on this topic because I've been working and dealing with other stuff, and plus, just getting ready to start doing some other things with the channel. But as a gamer, I had to really just speak up about this because this was a shock. It didn't really even shock me at all. So, in January of 2028. PlayStation said they are going to end making physical copies of video games. So, and honestly, I wasn't even surprised by this. This was bound to happen somewhere down the road. I mean, if you really just think about, how everything has gone digital now, from movies to TV shows and cable too. So, this wasn't really a shocker to me at all. And when I tell you that the gamers are pissed, man, they are not excited about this news at all. So, how do we get here? How do we get to this point now to where Sony decides that, hey, we're going to go ahead and end the physical copies of all games starting in 2028? So, I did some digging and I looked up some some stuff and looked up the digital sales and stuff like that. So we're gonna get right into that. But before we get into that, I want to ask you guys one question. To all my gamers and to anybody that play games, like, do we truly own these games? Physically, digitally, like, do we truly own these games? Because that's a conversation that we really need to talk about. So I have an article here. Basically, when I went up to look up on Google, saying legally we do not own these games. When you buy it, you only buying the license to play it. The publisher keeps the code. They can cancel your license and stuff like that. So, as I said before, that's why we need to have a conversation about the whole thing with ownership of these games. Because yes, we do spend our hard-earned money on these games, but unless we don't talk about ownership, unless we don't talk about consumer protective laws, we're not going to get anywhere, physical or digitally. It doesn't make a difference. That's why we need to have a conversation and talk about why we need to own. If we're going to own these games, it has to be we need to have a consumer protection about it, and because at the end of the day, physically or digitally, it won't make a difference. Now, here's the chart here of the digital sales and the physical sales of games from 2022 to this year. So, as you can see, the physical sales has went down at a decreasing amount as the digital sales have went up. This is why Sony is they made this decision to go ahead and end the physical copies of games. Now, I've been playing video games for a very long time now, so and in terms of them going in this direction, and this is not going to be a popular opinion about it, but I don't really care about them, phasing out the whole physical copies of games. I mean, they still should keep them though, but it's just my opinion. I don't really care for it because, at the end of the day, it's a business. The only thing I care about is the ownership. That's what I care about. That's why I said at the earlier segment, we need to have a conversation about having ownership of these games if we are going fully digitally. So let's just take, for example, the reason why I kind of stopped buying discs at the time, because unless it's a collector edition, then yeah, I will buy it for a collector edition. But because I don't have a disc drive for this for this PlayStation 5 Pro that I have, where they want you to pay $80 for a disc drive, which I just find that absurd. So if you guys remember, when you go to GameStop, you had to, you wanted to buy a refurbished game for a cheaper price, and then you get the game, and then it ends up not playing. So I dealt with that back when I was playing on the PS2. Like, going to GameStop, you get the refurbished game. Like, whatever that original price was, it was dropped to half. So you thinking, okay, I just saved money on the game that I got, only to find out that the game don't even work. So, or it have loading issues. So to me, that's why I don't really have an issue with them going fully digital. And I'm not saying this because I collect digital games. I'm saying this because, a lot of people want to keep their options open. Gaming has always been physical copies and stuff, but now with the new age and with the new direction that games are going now, people still want to own the games or collect the games physically. So I don't think they shouldn't phase it out all the way completely, but as I said before, I understand the direction that they're going. So all I'm saying is, give players options on if they want to buy the game physically or they want to buy the game digital. And the final topic that I want to talk to you guys about is the whole Sony's terms of service. Basically, they updated stating that if the company, they could close down your account for 36 months due to inactivity, but after giving a 6-month notice. But here's the thing though, with this clause still existing, there is no public documented cases showing that Sony broadly enforced this. And this terms of service has been around since 2019. They've been doing this, they've been doing the whole policy thing, with the 18 months to 24 months and down to 36 months. Now, me personally, I do not agree with this whole terms of service, simply because something could happen to you, in our life to where we won't be able to play games. Like it could be an injury or, something, or just something to where it pulls us away from playing games for a while, because life is really taking a drastic turn in terms of, life and work and stuff like that. So, we don't really just have the time to really just try to keep these accounts as active as possible. So that's why I'm saying they need to reconstruct this whole terms of service thing, because they're going to end up losing customers like this. Like people, with the way things going on as I'm making this video, a lot of people is already canceling their accounts and stuff like that because they don't want to deal with it anymore. So I think they really need to reconsider this. So Sony stated that they're going to continue moving forward with ending the whole physical copy. So, which, as I said before, I have no issue with it. My only issue is, having better policies and ownership of these games, because that's where the true conversation needs to be discussed. But anyway, that's all I got for this video, you guys. If you want to leave a comment and just tell me what you think and what's your thoughts about this whole thing with Sony ending physical games, just leave down there and just tell me what you think, because your voice matters at the end of the day, especially as gamers and content creators. So like I said, I'm gonna keep my eye on things and just see what they do moving forward, because something could change at any time. They might come up with something, and we'll just see what happens. So but if you guys are new to the channel, you guys can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned to the latest content. This is ShamThaGod Speaks. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video.